Whether you believe that secret societies are diabolical, evil organizations or not, it's a fact that they actually do exist. Welcome back to another episode of FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and in this episode I have 10 surprising secret societies that actually exist coming up for you right now. And now some of these groups still exist and others did in fact exist at one point, but not too far back in history. In any case, let's get started. Here at number 10, we have Ordo Templi Orientis. Ordo Templi Orientis, or the Order of the Temple of the East, is a mystic organization that was started in the early 20th century. Now, the group supposedly relies on ritual and occult practices as a means for members to advance within the organization. The general philosophy was a New Age esoteric principle and practices as a method of realizing one's true identity. Now, the popular occultist Aleister Crowley produced a lot of the group's material, and one of the major features and core teachings of the organization is the practice of sex magic. Ordo Templi Orientis still exists today with various chapters scattered around the world, mainly in the United States and also in the UK and different parts of Europe. The Bilderberg Group comes in at number 9, so of course we've heard of them before. Now, it's not just a secret society per se, but it does operate under a similar type of mystery as some of these secret societies. So it's become the subject of many conspiracy theories over the years. Now, the group was started back in the year 1954, and since then it has convened every single year as an invitation-only conference of various world leaders, as well as leaders in industries, as well as many people who are prominent in the media industry. The group was originally created to prevent anything that would cause another world war to ever happen again, and if it was to happen, they want to subside the effects of it. This happened after World War II. But as time went on, the group became a lot more about how to reach mutual understanding between cultures. The Bilderberg Group attracts a lot of controversy because there's no press allowed in their conferences, as well as a lot of the details about the topics that they discuss aren't officially released to the public, as well as there's a lot of security at their meetings. So it has people going like, what's actually going on inside of there? The American Mafia comes in at number 8, and I know this one doesn't necessarily sound like a secret society, but it actually is. They're a highly organized Italian-American criminal organization. Now, the Mafia's crimes, secret rituals, and notorious members like Al Capone and John Gotti have fascinated the public and become a huge part of pop culture. During the latter part of the 20th century, the government actually used anti-racketeering laws to convict high-ranking mobsters, as well as weaken the impact of the mafia. However, it remains a massive business to this day. Becoming an official member of the mafia traditionally involves an initiation ceremony where people have to perform rituals like pricking their fingers until it bleeds, as well as holding a burning picture of a saint while taking the oath of loyalty. Italian heritage was also a prerequisite for people to join, although certain families in the mafia require you to just have Italian lineage on your father's side. And also men often, although not always, need to take someone else's life before they can even join the mafia. Now, becoming a member of the mafia was meant to be a lifetime commitment, and every single member had to swear to obey the code of loyalty and silence, and they're expected to never assault any other member of the mafia, as well as you can't cheat with another member's girlfriend or wife. Number 7 is the Black Hand. Now, we've heard of this in pop culture as well, but the Black Hand was a secret society that was started in Serbia back in the year 1912. It formed as an offshoot of the Narodna Odbrana, which is a group that aimed to unite all of the Slavic people of Europe into one country. Now, their plan was to incite a war between Serbia and Austria, which would give them a chance to free their country and unite the different Slavic nations as one. And the Black Hand would be all but forgotten today if it wasn't for their involvement in 1914, where the group engineered the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The results of this were very catastrophic. Within days, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and after the allies of both of the countries joined the fight, the small dispute, they actually managed to escalate it into World War I. And the aftermath of World War I eventually led to World War II, then the Cold War. So of course, this makes the Black Hand one of the most influential forces of the 20th century. Moving on now to number 6, we have the Knights of the Golden Circle. Now, the Knights of the Golden Circle was a secret society that flourished in the United States during the American Civil War. In the beginning, they encouraged the annexation of Mexico and the West Indies, which they believed would help help the dying slave trade to once again start flourishing. But once the Civil War started, the group switched its focus to support the newly Confederate government. And then their organization soon had thousands of followers in the northern states, and their secret society had an even bigger impact. Now guys, we've reached halfway in this episode. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to leave a like on this video. And also, if this is your first time here to FTD Facts, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, because we post videos daily here. So come back every single day to learn something new about our world, history, the people within it, cultures, religion, all of that. And stick around, it's always a fun time here on FTD Facts. Alright, so moving on now to the last 5 secret societies, we have the Thule Society coming in at number 5. The group started in Germany just after World War I, and it began as a kind of German heritage group that really started dabbling into the occult, but it quickly became an organization that pursued to forward the ideology of the Aryan race. And it took an outwardly racist approach towards Jews as well as other minorities. Now, the group had thousands of members and even had its own propaganda newspaper. So check this, back in the year 1919, members of the Thule Society formed a political organization called the German Workers' Party, and the young Adolf Hitler became a member, and he eventually took over that party, and it became known as the Nazi Party. And we all know what happened after that. Next up at number 4, we have the infamous Sons of Liberty. So the Sons of Liberty is the name of a group that existed in America prior to the Revolutionary War. Now, the group did not exist as a secret society in the traditional sense. However, it was made up of a smaller number of patriots from various colonies that united in the support of a common goal. Now, when this group had met, it was usually in Boston around an elm tree that has since become known as the Liberty Tree. Now, the group is known today for sparking up revolution among the colonists with protests of the Stamp Act. And by the way, the Stamp Act of 1965 was the first internal tax that was levied directly on American colonists by the British Parliament. Now, the Sons of Liberty in Boston were the most famous arm of the entire group. Probably the most famous event that they engineered was the Boston Tea Party in the year 1773, when the group dressed up as natives and they dumped shiploads of overtaxed tea into the Boston Harbor. The secret society at number 3 is Skull and Bones. Ivy League colleges are known for their many secret societies and student organizations and fraternities. And of course, there's Yale's Skull and Bones. They're probably the most well known. Now, the only real prerequisite for membership is that those who are initiated are to be campus leaders. So athletes and members of student councils as well as fraternity presidents are usually considered. Apparently, the United States presidents, as well as senators and Supreme Court justices, have been members of Skull and Bones. So not all of them, just like a lot of them have been. The club also is very well funded because an organization called the Russell Trust Association actually funds it. Now, the Skull and Bones membership is no longer kept secret, but their practices still are. They meet twice a week, but what happens in the meetings are complete secret. The group is known for allegedly forcing new members to share their intimate stories. They also assign nicknames to every single member. We're getting to the bottom of this list, and next up at number 2, we have the Freemasons. Now, although they're less influential and secretive today as they once were, the Freemasons remain one of the most famous organizations in the entire world, with memberships estimated to be around 5 million globally. Now, the group was officially founded in the year 1717, but documents relating to their existence date back to even as early as 1300s. They were originally created to be a brotherhood where their members would share certain philosophic ideas as well as share their beliefs about a supreme being. The Freemasons strongly promote moral living, and many of the chapters are heavily involved in charity work as well as community work. Now, conspiracy theorists have brought to light that they supposedly are involved in evil occult practices. Churches of all denominations have also criticized the organization, as the Freemasons' teachings on spirituality and their beliefs are said to be an attempt to replace traditional religion. One practice, though, that they still hold to this day is how they induct new members. If you're initiated into the Freemasons, you have to be recommended to the group by someone who's already a Mason. And once that member is in, they need to pass past 3 different degrees before reaching the level of Master Mason. And now members also have certain handshakes and gestures and passwords that they use to communicate between each other, and also non-Masons are not allowed to attend their meetings. And finally, we've reached to number 1. You guys probably guessed this already. Number 1 is the Illuminati. Now, this organization has become the most famous secret society, mainly because of their frequent mentions and appearances in books, movies, and in TV. And now the legend surrounding the Illuminati dates back to a real organization that existed in Germany in the late 1700s. At the time, the members of the group presented themselves as an order of enlightened free thinkers. They quickly began to be viewed as a threat to overthrow the government, and they were even said to be behind the French Revolution. Now, the group broke up shortly afterwards, and they have been rumored to still be operating somewhere but in the shadows. Thanks to appearing in pop culture so much, the Illuminati has continued to be a topic of fear for many people to this day. It's believed that the group has survived and now directs the politics and industry of the world to a large extent. Okay guys, so that's it for this episode. Those were 10 surprising secret societies that actually exist. Now I want to know, guys, do you believe that secret societies are evil, or are they just like any other group or organization that aren't necessarily evil or good? They just sort of do what they do, like any political group or charity that support a particular cause. I'd love to hear all your thoughts and comments down below. Now before you guys get out of here, my social media links are below in the video description section, so follow me over there. Also, I'll leave a related video, as a matter of fact, at the end screen for you to check out if you enjoyed this one especially. I definitely don't want you to miss that one. Alright guys, it's been great chatting with you in this episode. I'll see you guys next time.